Hello, and thank you for joining us here at Royal Crown Derby. My name is Elizabeth, and I'm the Director of the Royal Crown Derby Museum Charitable Trust, which cares for and shares the stories and objects associated with Royal Crown Derby. Today we are going to see a bit of history in the making as we follow the production journey of a paperweight, the one we call the Nightingale Owl, and here she is sitting in front of me on the desk today. The Nightingale Owl was made to celebrate Florence Nightingale's 200th anniversary, as well as the 72nd anniversary of the NHS in 2020. Royal Crown Derby had already made an owl paperweight in honour of Florence Nightingale in 2010, and it was named Athena, after a real pet owl that Florence Nightingale rescued. So we decided to create the new owl using Athena's template. The Nightingale Owl's journey began in the design studio, where the design team gave Athena a facelift. They decided to recolour her in blue, taking their inspiration from the blue of the NHS logo. Matt, our head designer, tells me that the hardest part of paperweights to get right are the eyes. It is important that the owl looks friendly and alert, although apparently the real Athena was rather less than friendly, particularly if she took a dislike to Florence Nightingale's visitors. Whilst the design team and the print shop work on the exact colours needed for the owl, a mould is created so that the paperweights can be shaped from liquid clay. The owl is made from a single mould, but some pieces require multiple moulds. The liquid clay or slip is poured into the mould, and the mould, which is made of plaster of Paris, absorbs the moisture from the clay and the shape inside begins to harden. It is an art to know when the clay is hard enough to be removed from the mould. Here is our Nightingale owl being born from her mould, and happily, she is perfect. In this unglazed state, she is known as a biscuit piece. Next, she will be smoothed and any seams and edges removed. This process is known as fettling. Next, the Nightingale owl is glazed, which means she is sprayed with a precise mixture of fine silica sand, which gives her glaze its translucent quality, and water. The glaze we use in its percentage silica and water is a closely guarded secret. 2 further ingredients are added to control the thickness of the glaze and the melting point of the silica. And coating the paperweight in glaze is a fine art. The viscosity of the glaze, the thickness of the coat, all have to be just right to ensure that the Nightingale owl looks her best. The glaze is applied with a pink dye so that the skilled technicians can see that the glaze is evenly applied to every part of the shape. Now the little bird is ready for her first firing. She is stacked onto the shelves with her friends, ready to go into the kiln. Her pink colour will burn off in the kiln and she will emerge a pure, brilliant white. Once she is fired, she will be checked carefully to be sure she is perfect before she is decorated. Luckily, Pete finds no faults with our owl and she is given the go-ahead for the next stage and is ready to have her feathers applied. By now, the designers and the printers have chosen the colours that will go into her design, and once they've mixed the powdered dyes into the exact colours they want, they begin to create the transfers which will become her feathers. The Nightingale owl has 2 sets of feathers, and the print team must create transfers for the owl's background colours, her first set of feathers, and the detail of her plumage, the second set of feathers. Each of the 10 individual colours that make up the Nightingale owl are printed separately onto the transfer paper using screen printing. Once both sets of transfers are ready, they are sent to the lithography team, ready to apply. Our skilled lithographers have received the prints and now they have the glazed owl they can begin work on applying the transfers to the plain shape. This is very precise work. Each element of the design must be applied in exactly the right area. Once her background colours are applied, she is fired again, and then when she has her full plumage applied. When all her colours have been applied and fired in place, she is ready for gilding. Our gilders have very steady hands as they apply the final touches to the Nightingale owl. She is almost finished, but she needs to be fired one more time to set all her colours in place. Once she has her final firing, she is burnished, polishing up the gold to make sure it shines and brings her to life. And finally, our beautiful Nightingale owl is finished and ready to find a new home. When someone orders her, she will be carefully packed and ready to fly away. I hope you enjoyed seeing how our Nightingale owl was made. thanks to the imagination of the designers and the steady hands and dedication to perfection of her team. She is beautiful. On her journey through the factory, she has passed through the hands of at least 12 expert craftspeople and technicians, and that's not counting the people working behind the scenes to support all the processes which create the Nightingale Owl. So happy birthday, Florence Nightingale. We hope you like the owl, and, of course, long live the NHS. Don't forget that you can visit the Royal Crown Derby Museum to find out more about the history and heritage of Royal Crown Derby. We look forward to welcoming you. Thank you for joining us. Bye-bye.